Again, as we saw earlier, following the exodus from Egypt, Moses sent 12 spies to explore the land of Canaan. While Joshua and Caleb believed in the Lord and reported the greatness of the land, the other 10 were fearful and spread a bad report among the people. Then Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, "We should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it." But the men who had gone up with him said, "We can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are." And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land they had explored. They said, "The land we explored devours those living in it. All the people we saw there are of great size. We saw the Nephilim there." The descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim. "We seemed like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and we looked the same to them." Numbers 13, verses 30 through 33. God then responded to Moses, "How long will this people treat me with contempt? How long will they refuse to believe in me in spite of all the signs I have performed among them?" Numbers 14, verse 11. As a result of their believing the bad report, the Israelites' trek into the Promised Land stalled, and they wandered in the desert for 40 years. Only Caleb and Joshua survived, and finally tasted the fruit of their belief in God. In the same way, believing the bad report of the enemy causes us to walk in a spiritual wilderness of darkness, depression, and despair. We must be on our guard not to fall into this trap. If we choose to believe the enemy, then we block God's word and work in our lives. Another version of a false report is a false truth. In the book of Judges, the people of Israel were conquered over and over because they failed to see God's truth in their lives, choosing instead to walk in evil and do what was right in their own eyes. In their own eyes is another trap the devil uses in our day of evil to destroy us. We see the situation from a worldly perspective or from our own perspective alone, and then the enemy whispers a truth of the situation into our minds. "Look, God has abandoned you," or "It was your fault." John the Baptist knew Jesus was the Christ, but when his own eyes did not see what he had expected, and he found himself in prison, he fell into doubt. The enemy whispered uncertainty in his mind, causing him to think that perhaps he was mistaken. So he sent a messenger to ask Jesus if he really was the one. Jesus responded with a truth of the spiritual dimension of reality. "Go back and report to John what you have seen and heard. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor." Luke 7, verse 22. God's voice is always there to counter the voice of the enemy, and it is our choice whose voice we listen to and believe. Peter knew Jesus and walked with him. Yet when Jesus began to talk openly with the disciples about his death, Peter became confused. The world was not working the way he expected it should. God was not working in this ministry the way he thought he should. The truth he expected from his faith was not what was playing out in front of him. So he contested Jesus' plan, and Jesus rebuked him as being deceived by the lying truth of the enemy. Peter was looking at the situation from his religious, physical reality, but Jesus had to redirect him to the truth of God in the moment. After Jesus' death, the disciples then believed the truth that Jesus was dead and that he must not have really been the Messiah. This was after Jesus had plainly told them multiple times that he would be betrayed, tried, killed, and then raised from the dead. Jesus had plainly told them this spiritual truth, yet these disciples allowed the truth